Hey everyone, Corey from CJ's Classic Truck here, and today we're going to be going over what to look out for when you're trying to purchase a Ford F-100. So there's a couple questions to ask yourself before even looking into buying one of these trucks. One of the most important questions to ask is, what is your end goal? Are you looking for that full original restoration or just a resto mod? So for example, if you're just looking to have a truck that goes fast in a straight line, this is a great example of it. But if you're looking for a full original restoration, then you're gonna wanna find one that still has, working interior bits, original body panels, and so forth. Now, another question that I always like to mention is, are you doing the work yourself? Now, if you're doing the work yourself, this will save you a lot of money, but if you're not doing the work for yourself, then you need to look out for a couple of things. One of the main things being rust. Rust in bodywork is gonna be one of your biggest obstacles. So if you don't know how to do any of those repairs, sending it out to a professional can really end up hurting your budget. A lot of these times, these beds rot out because of how they were from factory. So if you don't know, Ford F-100s were actually naturally tilted this way or raked, and then that would end up causing water to pull up into the front of the bed area, which then would end up causing rust. Besides pulling up in front of the bed area, all of the seams and seals were pretty common spots for rust too on the bed. So make sure to really check over the bed of the truck, because if you're going for that all original restoration, this is a very expensive piece to replace or repair. Last but not least, you want to check out the cab of the truck. This is another piece of the truck that can end up rotting or rusting out that could really end up hurting your budget in the long run. A good way to check this is by grabbing a magnet and some painter's tape to put on the end so you don't scratch up the paint, and then just go along the top of the cab to make sure that none of the areas are starting to rot out. And then while you're checking this area, don't be afraid to look inside the cabin to see if the floorboards are still in good condition. Now we're here to check out the underside of the vehicle. So as expected, you want to make sure that the frame is in good condition, it's not rotted out, has any rust holes or anything like that. And then also, you don't want to forget, you got to check your cab mounts, and you also have to check your seat stabilizers as well. Those are two very common rust areas, and they will definitely hurt your budget if they're rotted out. So at this point, you probably looked over the entire F-100, and now you're ready to look at the engine bay. Now, the Ford F-100 you're probably looking at probably doesn't have a tilted front end or this motor in it, but this is totally something that you could do if you're going to purchase an F-100. Usually when you open up the hood, you're gonna see either a straight 6 or a V8 into it, if it's all original. Now, one thing to always keep in mind, if it is original, Ford was really good at making durable and reliable motors. So as long as the previous owner kept up on the maintenance, you probably don't have too much to worry about. Now, moving on to the engine bay, you wanna check it over and make sure that everything looks correct and healthy. Check all your lines, check all your hoses, make sure none of them are cracked or loose. Most importantly, while you're here at the engine bay, you want to check over for any leaks. If everything checks out great, all your hoses, all your fluids are good, it's always a good time too to make sure that the rad support isn't rusty, considering that they hold the entire front end on. Have the owner go ahead and start the truck up to make sure that everything sounds healthy and correct. Try to make sure it is a cold start, because a lot of the times if the engine's already warm, it can hide some problems that you would only find on a cold start. So now you've checked over the entire truck. You've checked it over for rust, you were in the interior, you were in the engine bay, making sure that everything looked and sounded healthy. But now is the most important part of the buy, the test drive. So before going out onto the main road with other drivers, there's a couple things you should do though. If they have a long enough driveway, get in the truck and test out the brakes. Feel how they stop, how far they're going down to the floor, and so forth. Also, get acclimated with your steering. The steering in these trucks are a lot different than a lot of the vehicles that you probably have driven and are used to, so make sure that you are comfortable with the truck before going out onto that main road. Hopefully with all this new information, you're ready to jump into your first Ford F-100 project, but keep in mind when you're looking on the marketplace, finding one in this good condition is going to be pretty hard to come by. But it's a great example of what your F-100 could be in the near future. It's time to drop a gear and disappear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, check out cjponyparts.com for all your classic truck part needs.